Hi guys, in the kitchen, got another plastic bottle here for making a rubber band powered car, but because this one has bleach in it, or had bleach in it, we need to make sure we're very careful what we do with it. We're going to have to thoroughly clean it, because if you get bleach on your hands, it'll actually burn your skin. So that's why I'm doing this video, just to demonstrate if you're going to use a bottle like this, you need to thoroughly clean it, get all the bleach out of it before we do anything else with it. So I'll do that. You don't need to watch me actually washing it out, but that's what I'm going to do. Right, before we get started, bit of a problem. The wireless microphone didn't work, so I'm having to do a voiceover. So here we are. We have the bleach bottle cleaned out, and I'm just saying, make sure you have cleaned it out properly, because bleach will take the skin off your hands, or certainly cause nasty burns. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some CDs that I've used before. These ones have got 3D printed hubs in the middle, which we can use bicycle spokes on. You don't have to do that. My previous video I used ordinary bamboo canes, barbecue skewers, and plastic bottle tops to fill up the gaps in the middle there. You could just use a thick piece of cardboard to fill it up. Check my video description, there's a list of help files there for doing that sort of thing. Right, we need to mark up the bottle, and obviously put a couple of holes in it for the axles to go through. We need to cut the bottom off because we need to be able to reach in there to wind up the rubber band. So I shall cut that off. I did actually discuss that you could just use sandpaper. If you rub the end of that bottle on some rough sandpaper, it will eventually rub right through it, and that'll take the bottom off for you. But I will use a sharp knife instead. Oh, you could heat up a blade, use a hot blade and cut through it as well. Yeah, I'm demonstrating that you could rub through with sandpaper. At the top end, I'll put a hole where the cap goes, just so we can attach the rubber band easily. We need to do some careful measuring to make sure the axles are parallel. That's just a random bit of plastic off my table that I'm going to use to keep the height front and back. Again, just a random item to give me a height. So I can mark up the bottle. At the other end, I'm just going to use the seam there. And that should make our axles parallel front and back. I'm using my Bradawl, that's a metal spike with a handle on it. And because I'm just using the bicycle spokes, we don't need too big a hole. It needs to be slightly bigger than that one because you can see it's just catching and we need it to fall out easily. So if we wiggle it around a bit, that should open the hole up. If you don't get the holes parallel, the car won't go straight. It'll go off to the left or the right. I'm demonstrating there that it's a nice loose fit now. Do the same at the other end. So nice loose fit again. If it's not a loose fit, then you waste power with the friction and the car won't go so far. I'm using a nice sharp knife to cut the bottom off. Hole for the rubber band. Again, that will be too small, so I'll jam a screwdriver in there to make it bigger. So screwdriver in there just to make the hole bigger so we can get the rubber band through easily. Like I said earlier, you don't need to use 3D printed hubs for your CDs. Just a bit of cardboard would do the job, or plastic bottle tops, hot glue them in place, or even sticky tape them in place. It all works, and I have demonstrated in previous videos. The axles do need to be a tight fit on the back axle in particular, because otherwise the axle will spin and the wheels won't. You could add a bit of glue, a bit of super glue on there, that'll make sure they don't spin. And then you need a pair of wire cutters or pinchers or something to trim those bicycle spokes off to the right length. Next we need some rubber bands. I even have a help file on how to join rubber bands together. Links in the video description. That's actually too many rubber bands, that's too long. One problem with bottles as the chassis for the car is you have problems reaching inside to get hold of the rubber bands when you drop them in. So ideally you want some sort of hook that you can reach in there and get hold of the rubber band. And then you need to put it over the back axle. Well, I'll show you in a second. I'll just take the extra rubber band off that we don't need because there's too many there. Right, what I do is I just put the rubber band over the back axle, hold it in place with my fingers whilst I'm rotating the axle. That makes the rubber band roll over itself, and once it's over itself, it holds itself in place. I'll just trim the excess off and we'll have a go on the floor. My hook. Running a little bit left. That's annoying. Summary time. Bleach bottle. Not a good choice, but if you are going to use one, make sure it's well cleaned out, because bleach will hurt your skin. I use CDs for wheels where I've got 3D printed hubs, and I've used bicycle spokes for the axles, but you can use anything you like. Barbecue skewers, cardboard. Check the video description for some of my other videos. And then we put a hole in the front there to attach the rubber band.